You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
You know what you are? You're a popcorn salesman.
Worldwide Sports Radio presents the home stretch.
All right, let's hit the field.
With Tyler and friends.
Hello! Welcome to the home stretch. I'm your host, Tyler Harrison, along with my co-host / producer / DJ, when I ask for it, Stevie Petey, along with absolutely nobody. We're by ourselves, so that's right. But hey, let's not act so doom and gloom, because this is it, right? This is the biggest weekend that we've all been waiting for now for a while. The San Francisco 49ers on Sunday. If there's one more fly, I'm going to cancel the show. I'm over this. This is really making me mad. Speaking of flies, San Francisco flies down to Miami to take on the flying Kansas City Chiefs to take on the title of Super Bowl 54. Pat Mahomes, Jimmy G. A battle of former backup quarterbacks. Look at that. So that'll be interesting. Again, also Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan, 2 Super Bowl losses on the resume for both of them. So
Alex Smith gets to watch his former quarterback in his mentee in Patrick Mahomes and his former team.
Yeah, that's gonna be rough. Just imagine if he didn't go to Washington, he wouldn't have had his leg broken in half.
Yep.
So,
classic Redskins.
oh yeah, absolutely. But so there's a lot to get to. We're going to talk NHL trade deadline. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl the second half of the show, because that's the big story, right? Because there's no story today. There's actually a story that broke on the way in about the White Sox ticket fraud.
Ticket fraud?
Yeah, I didn't get to read it. Let's quickly recap it here. Chicago charged for ticket fraud. Ex-White Sox employees charged an alleged ticket fraud scheme that cost the team $1 million. So maybe they just took tickets for free, and they were, doesn't really matter to me at all. So, yeah.
They took tickets for free.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Right.
No, it sounds like they just took real tickets and gave them away. But it doesn't, I could care less. How's that sound?
Why would that be beneficial to them?
No, they cost the White Sox $1 million.
Oh.
Yeah. That's my whole point.
Usually fraud involves stealing money, though, or getting money under the table, which, if that's the case, that would have been more, all right, you're charging your fans extra or, like, hidden incentives with maybe the online trading or online ticket websites.
Yeah, that's very possible. But we are right now in a very weird state where both the NBA and NHL trade deadlines are kind of close. The NHL deadline's 24th. I think the NBA deadline's like the 17th or the 18th, somewhere around there.
It's weird hockey has more time, yet their season's earlier, starts earlier.
Well, you got to remember, they lose a week. They lose more than a week.
Yeah, but
they lose like 2.
Not every team does. Not every bye week is the same. And also, how would that affect the general manager?
I don't know, Steve. I don't know. I'm really not in a thinking mood right now. Go home, get in bed, and not be bothered by flies, because this is really making me mad. This is awful. This is almost as bad as the Mookie Betts. So I didn't talk about this Thursday because obviously we had to kind of recap the week with Jordan and Josh, which, by the way, it was a lot of fun. This is freaking annoying, man. So we had to recap the week, right? Bear with me because I can tell this is going to be a long 2 hours. We didn't even talk about the fact that I nailed the donkey on the head. So now the Dodgers are the favorites to get Mookie Betts because now the Dodgers are heavily involved in the trade talks, which is what I told everybody. The Padres are not that interested in Mookie Betts. Makes no sense for the Padres to go get Mookie Betts. And to be quite honest with you, Nolan Arenado of the Yankees is pretty much lost steam too. You know why? Because everyone's bored of it now. If Nolan Arenado goes to the Yankees, you know how many people are going to watch baseball? Yankee fans. That's it. That is it. Because it would be an absolute crime And honestly, knowing Colorado, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually got kind of sold short on that whole trade, too. I could expect the Yankees to keep some key pieces.
I expect the Red Sox to be sold short more just because Betts is in a scandal.
Well, that's why the trade for the Red Sox makes a ton of sense to do it now. Because they can deny that he's not going to get suspended. But if he is suspended, it's going to be hard to deny that. And plus, people are going to go, well, that was his best season ever, so what happened to him? But the second half of last year, he was pretty elite too, so I'm not too concerned. But a lot to get to. We are going to talk about, I think a Snugs alert has popped up, so I'll check that. But NHL trade deadline we're going to talk about first because it's much more exciting to me, and NBA right now just hurts for obvious reasons.
Yep. First game tonight for the Lakers.
Yeah, that's real great. That's freaking great. Snugs alert. I enjoy Speedy's extensive knowledge on the subject of fraud. Is his real name even Speedy? Hashtag Speedy. Hashtag Speedy Ponzi and hashtag Ban the Beef. Well, to be perfectly honest, his name is not Speedy.
Do you want to give
It's actually Bojangles.
Bojangles.
But
so I'm stealing chicken is what I'm hearing.
Or Jameis. You can steal crab legs. Crab legs are better. So if you're going to eat right.
Snugs, if you want to come up with a fraud name for me, you're more than welcome.
No, I wouldn't do that. I don't think you're going to like the fraud names he has for you. Just put it out there. But, yeah, a lot to get to. Obviously, the Super Bowl we talked about. I kind of want to see if I can get this NFL thing done because it's cool. That's crazy. That's absolutely freaking wicked. Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid had the same exact stats.
What?
27 goals, 50 assists, 77 points.
Wow.
To the T.
Wow. I think at some point Draisaitl was ahead of him, too.
And the power play points favor McDavid. 10 power play goals each.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, even strength points favors Draisaitl. And I hate to say this to you, Edmonton Oilers fans, you're going to have to pick one or the other. So, obviously, Leon Draisaitl will be the guy you miss. So, that's going to stink to lose him. But,
they got to shed a lot of the bad players they got in first. They brought in first. That's what's holding him back. Their previous GM was the worst GM in hockey for a long time.
That's true. But I guess we'll start with hockey because I really do want to talk about hockey. But I will say this. We do need something else to go right today. So we are going to do Around the World Sports. I hate these flies. I can't stand them. I have to be honest with you. I hate these flies. So, yeah, Around the World Sports. Again, we're going to – there's no college basketball tonight?
I guess there's no ranked.
There's no ranked games today? Why?
I'm not sure. I mean, Friday's
Oh, you know why? The season's over.
No, it's not.
The tournaments start.
No, it didn't. The tournaments don't start until next month. The conference tournaments. That's the end of February.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It's just more today.
No, never mind. I think they packed them all for tomorrow.
Yeah,
Because I saw Duke Syracuse.
Friday's usually a lighter college basketball day, and then there's a lot on Saturday.
Why is Duke 9th?
In the rankings?
Yeah. They lost again? They didn't lose since the last time we did this.
Well, no, but remember, they lost to Clemson last week.
That's right. And what did I tell everybody about that game?
And the rankings don't update until the following Monday. So they took that into account from, again, 2 weeks ago, and then it hasn't changed since. So they'll move up probably with some other teams above them losing this week, but I don't know how much. I'll have to see.
Jesus Louise. Anyway, so we will start with the NBA. Actually, I lied. This is my favorite hockey tournament. No. You can play the basketball music. It's fun. The greatest golf tournament of all time. Swear to... I promise you this is the name of the golf tournament, right? The Waste Management Open in Phoenix, in Scottsdale, Arizona, at the TPC Scottsdale Stadium course. Can't make it up. That's really what it's called. No, Jeff, it has nothing to do with the Dallas Cowboys. But I'm sure a few of them are in attendance. But, oh, you know what else we can talk about? I got it. Your leader right now is J.B. Holmes at -13, shot at -6 today. Wyndham Clark is second at -12. He shot at -2 today. Now, here's where I get kind of annoyed, right? So, Billy Horschel at -11. He shot at -3 today. Yoon Han Haan. I'm so sorry if I got that wrong. I apologize. I try to pronounce things the best I can, and Lord knows it doesn't always work. -11 as well. He shot at -5 today. Scott Piercy, also at -10. He shot at -6 today. That is the top 5 of the second round right now. The second round is underway. Right now, Toronto's up 60-47 over the Pistons as the Derrick Rose trade watch continues. Your leading scorer for the Toronto Raptors is Paul Siakam at 15. Stupid fly. I'm going to send you to Detroit in a second. Oh, I think I got him. Oh, never mind. Little bastard to left. Here we go. Here's the name I would never imagine saying. Svi Mikhailuk.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
for Detroit.
That name had to come back into my life.
Yep. Leading scorer for the Pistons at 13. Derrick Rose has 12. Derrick Rose couldn't get the free throw. Damn shame. Awful shit. There's about 11 minutes left in the third quarter. In the second quarter, with about 7 minutes to go, the Brooklyn Nets are up 49-34 over the Chicago Bulls. Kyrie leads with 16. Spencer Dinwiddie with 15, as he obviously changed his number from 8 to 26 to honor Kobe and Gianna Bryant, and that will be a theme of today's show. For the Bulls, Luke Cornet. You remember him at Vanderbilt? Because I don't. He's the leading scorer for the Bulls. He has 10.
He was okay at Vanderbilt. He wasn't great.
The Rockets are up 49-40 over the Mavs. Kristaps leads the way with 9 for the Mavericks. For the Houston Rockets, you can take a guess as Westbrook and Eric Gordon lead the way with 12, as the defense for the Houston Rockets is not there. Mike D'Antoni's the coach.
They had a defense.
Nope, no D'Antoni. So, the Pelican game just started against the Grizzlies at 16-7. The leading scorer will be Dylan Brooks again for the Grizzlies. And the leading scorer right now is actually Zion Williamson for the Pelicans, who's been on a roll. Absolutely phenomenal. At 9 o'clock, the Nuggets go into Milwaukee, and this game's going to be great. Take the over. It's going to be a high-scoring game, I think. And also, take the Nuggets, because they will cover the spread. So, that's fun. And then at 9 o'clock, you get the 2 surprises to the league. The Oklahoma City Thunder take on the Phoenix Suns. It's surprising that the Oklahoma City Thunder are in the playoffs. The Oklahoma City Thunder are in the playoffs, and Devin Booker is not an all-star. That's a freaking joke. That's not even the biggest joke. How's Bradley Beal not an all-star? That's a damn shame. For who? For what?
Popularity.
That Bradley Beal needs to get traded. Big time. He needs to go to a winning team. This is ridiculous. And at 10:30, LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers take on the Portland Trail Blazers, as this will be the most emotional basketball game you've ever seen. The Lakers have Kobe stuff all over the arena. They gave out a bunch of Kobe shirts, 8 and 24. They're going to honor Kobe pre-game, halftime, and probably afterwards. And must win. Must win. You lose this game, you're going to go into a negative spiral for weeks. Negative. You cannot lose this game. And then we go to the NHL. I should have done the NBA last. I apologize. I didn't plan that out right. The NHL is on. We'll start at home. The New York Rangers are up 2-0 over the Detroit Red Wings. Hey, Eric Bowe, how does that feel? How does that feel? The team you should root for is being the team you do root for.
Well,
good job.
He probably doesn't care because the Red Wings at this point should tank anyway.
Well, that's true, too. I have an idea for the Red Wings, but they're going to think I'm dumb. No, actually, you can't do that. Never mind. Pavel Buchnevich has scored. He was assisted by Zibanejad and Kreider. And then here we go again. Chris Kreider scored for the Rangers. Assisted by Adam Fox. That kid's phenomenal. What he does with the puck in his stick is ridiculous. And Zibanejad, once again, he is going to be a huge asset for the Rangers going forward, as I will talk about Kreider later, I'm sure. But, Jimmy Howard's in net. That's interesting. He normally owns the Rangers.
Yeah, he does.
Interesting. He has 2 wins on the season. Speaking of 2 wins, Igor Shesterkin's in net. Not saying anything. All I'm saying is he's in net, and it's 2-0. You figure it out the rest. The Pittsburgh Penguins are up 3-1 over the Flyers. Jacob Voracek. I hate Jacob Voracek. I can't stand him. He scored for the Flyers just because you kill the Rangers. Kill them. I respect your game a ton, but you kill the Rangers.
Notoriously streaky player, though.
Yeah. Oh, Matt Niskanen's still in the league. That's good. He got the assist along with Joel Frobby. Patrick Hornquist assisted on Malkin's opening goal. Malkin and Crosby assisted on a Brian Rust's goal. And Chris Letang has scored the 3rd goal for the Penguins.
So basically a whole thread of Rangers killers.
Yeah, right. Basically. And it's 3-1. They haven't labeled the assist yet. There's about 8 minutes left in the second period there. The Ottawa Senators are trailing 2-0 to the Capitals. TJ Oshie and Evgeny Kuznetsov has scored for the Capitals. Surprise, surprise. Here's a good game to watch. It's not looking too good right now, but it's 2-0 Vegas Knights over the Carolina Hurricanes as Jonathan Marchessault, and Paul Stastny have scored for the Knights. I love Marchessault, by the way. Guys, that kid is going to be special. He's going to be special if they can. Well, he's not a kid anymore, but he's a phenomenal player. I loved him. I wanted the Rangers to get him.
It was gift wrapped to Vegas.
Right. The Winnipeg Jets are up 1-0 over the Bruins as Patrick Laine has scored, assisted by Nikolai Ehlers and one of our friends, and remember this name, Neil Point. At 9 o'clock, the defending Stanley Cup champ St. Louis Blues take on the Edmonton Oilers, and the Tampa Bay Lightning go on to Anaheim to squash the Ducks. I cannot imagine what the score will be, but it will be a blowout. That much I can guarantee. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Around the World of Sports, brought to you by the Fly Machine, because this is all we have here is flies. Flies, 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 flies. More of the flies. Snugs alert. Bunch of laughing faces. I believe Speedy's new fraud name has already been decided. Bojangles for the win. Hashtag Tyler is brilliant. Hashtag Bojangles is shady. Yeah, that's what it says. And hashtag best nickname yet.
I guess from that logic, I am a chicken thief.
Well, just don't get stuck with the cock. That's all I'm going to tell you. All right, well, that's it. We're done. We're out of here. Goodbye. So long. I hate these flies, I have to tell you. So, Johnny Hubs. I wonder what the Rangers would have to give up realistically to get Johnny Hubs. Besides a ton.
Yeah.
But,
That's pretty accurate. And the Rangers and the Panthers are very similarly built, so it's not like you're helping the Panthers by trading defense, because you need defense too.
Interesting. I have a guy that the Rangers should go get. Mark Sheffley.
That would be nice, but again, that's going to be pricey too.
Probably. Barkov. Stamkos, Ovechkin. Yeah, I just kind of... Pedersen. JT Miller. Fuck. Sorry. It just hurts because he should never have been traded. He wasn't going to be expensive, and AV's an idiot. Ruined our whole team.
Well, AV didn't trade him. It was GM that traded him.
Well, AV told him that he doesn't fit his style of play.
Yeah, well, there's not many players you made better in your system, so.
Right, but here's the thing, right? He said the same thing about freaking Kevin Hayes, and then who do you want the Flyers to go sign? Kevin Hayes. So I don't.
Well, they overpaid Kevin Hayes.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
they did.
But,
Yeah,
no, they did. I agree with you, but it's just frustrating because we really should still have Miller. I'm okay with losing Hayes, but Miller, nah, that stinks. That stinks. So what we're going to start with today is something very different and very just different. Okay, so I don't even know what I want to start with. You know what, Speedy? You tell me. I'm not thinking straight, so you tell me.
Where do you want to start with?
I don't care.
Which aspect of the trade deadline?
No, we're not doing the NBA. I'm not.
No, I
talking
mean,
NBA.
no. I said hockey. No,
No,
for hockey.
sure.
Because it seems like you were getting on that.
Sure, go ahead.
So do you want me to pull up the article that you wanted me to do last time?
Yes.
Okay, so here is the author of this is Pete Blackburn. Guys that are on his list, 2 Rangers, Chris
Yes.
Kreider and Alexander Georgiev, which you and I both said Georgiev should have been traded a while ago.
Yeah, they've gambled and lost on that one.
Yeah, and the goalie market as a whole is very thin as it is. So
There's
I'm
only like a
surprised-
few teams I could even see taking a shot on him at this point.
Right, and looking at the standings in terms of surprise teams that maybe could have gotten him, a lot of the teams that are those surprise teams, maybe besides Edmonton, don't need the goalies. The Flames have a young goalie of their own. The Canucks have a young goalie of their own in Thatcher Demko when he's healthy. In the Eastern Conference, there's really no teams that need him because either they have young goalies or they have veterans that are struggling right now, who, at that point, you're probably better off trusting. Teams like Florida, teams like the Capitals, Holtby's had a down year.
Yeah.
The Hurricanes is probably the one that maybe
That's the
they
team
could have
I'm
gone
thinking.
after.
That's the team I'm thinking.
Yeah, and maybe the Rangers get maybe one of their second pair defensemen, maybe something like that. A straight up swap like that, because the Hurricanes have most of their young players have come up already. So
Right.
I don't know how much they have left with their farm system. Because I think their offensive depth is very similar to the Rangers in terms of their strength is on the wing more than anything else. So I think them trying to take on, because they're not going to get a top line defenseman for that, but just a piece like a Brent Pesce or a Hayden Fleury might be a good option, maybe with a middle prospect.
I'm thinking Pesce.
Yeah, he's a solid second line. I don't think he's much more than that, but he's young. He has some good size, 6'3", 206, 25 years old. So, again, his upside's not great, but, I mean, you still will take it. And, again, it helps both teams in terms of the needs, because the Hurricanes got a ton of defense right now. They have enough where they can afford to move one of their lower guys. Trevor Van Riemsdyk's too old. I wouldn't want him. Jake Gardner just got there, and Edmondson just got there, so I don't think they would want to trade those guys. Jacob Slavin's young and way too good, so they're not going to trade him by any stretch. And
Home stretch.
so that leaves really Fleury and Pesce as really legitimate options. Their offensive depth, I would imagine they'd want to keep for the most part.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the one thing to look at. And then Edmonton's the other one I think you would look at. The problem is they don't have much defense in the way of defense to trade. So they would probably just have to get prospects from them.
I got a team, but I don't know who they would get back. See, the Flyers are the perfect team to trade him to, honestly.
They don't need him, though. Carter Hart's a really good young goalie.
Yeah, but he's hurt.
Is he?
Nah. He's hurt. And Brian Elliott's starting right now, so I don't know. Maybe Buffalo. Could Buffalo use him? Buffalo could definitely use him.
Buffalo could use him. It's just a matter of are they thinking they should buy is the big question with them. Because they're pretty far back.
All I'm
Carolina's the second
all
wild
I'm
card,
saying is
60
this.
Carolina's the second wild card at 61 points. Buffalo's 10 points behind them. The Rangers only 1 point behind Buffalo.
Well, they've also got 3 games in hand, I think. I
Yeah,
think
they do.
Buffalo's played.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, so Ristolian, I think, would be perfect. Right.
But he's young. I don't know if they would trade him, though.
When's his contract up? His contract cannot possibly be that much longer. And honestly, who says he wants to keep losing there? Let's just be honest.
That's fair, but again, how much control is he going to have, really, of that?
3-0 Rangers.
Let's see. He's 25 years old. No, he still has 2 more years.
But ideally, that's the time to trade a defenseman. You got your value for him. The contract extension is not our problem. You figure this out.
But he's so young that they might need him as a building piece rather than.
Well, that's what Dallin's for.
Yeah, one defenseman.
I don't think Dallin was drafted to play with him. I think Dallin was there to replace him.
Right, but you still need multiple defensemen. One defenseman's not going to make a whole defensive unit. With the exception of the Penguins, I've never seen a team win with that kind of thinking.
I'm just saying it's possible. And the bread man does it again. So Panarin scored to put the Rangers up 3-0. Tony DeAngelo, Jesper Fast. Fast could go too. As painful as that is, he's playing really well.
Yeah, he's an interesting one because he's the kind of player that role player type that playoff teams generally trade for.
Carl Hagelin to the Capitals. I'm telling you now, it's going to make a difference.
Yeah.
Telling you. You can laugh all you want to.
No, I'm not laughing.
You just, yeah.
No, I'm saying yeah.
Calm down, Bojangles.
I'm saying yeah because I agree with you.
Oh, okay. All right, calm down. But there's a lot. So let's just do this, right? I think we can all safely say who's out and who's in. In the West, the Kings are out, right?
Yeah.
The Ducks are out.
Yeah.
The Sharks are out.
I don't know, again, with how much their top players are going to get value just because they are.
No. I'm just saying the teams are out. Okay. The Sharks are out.
I would say that's it for the West. I think everyone else is in enough range.
I think the Wild are out.
Wild are 5 points behind is not out, I would say.
They've got 2 games.
Minus 10 goal differential. That's not too bad for a team that was supposed to be rebuilding and worse than they are. I knew they'd be better, but I wouldn't say 5 points is out of reach yet.
Okay, so we'll stop at the Sharks.
Yeah.
Then you go to the East, and the only teams really out are the Red Wings, Devils, and Senators, right? Because then you get to the Rangers, Sabres, Canadians.
Yeah.
So the East is deep, and that's fun. So the Red Wings, I'm looking at them right now, and I hope Bo is listening. So you're building around Tyler Bertuzzi because he's young, and then you got a bunch of young guys. Justin Appledecker can go. He can.
Yeah, he's another piece like Fost where they could use a playoff team could use that kind of well-rounded passer-hitter type.
Larkin, personally, I would shop, but I understand why they would want him. So he's there.
Yeah, you can't be left.
Filppula, gone.
Terry Filppula, yeah.
I would trade him. Mm-hmm. Franz Nielsen, if you can get something for him.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard one to move.
I'm just saying in general. Fabiri, I would trade. Mm-hmm. Never mind. He's young. Never mind. I thought he was the other Fabiri. I'm sorry. And then you look at the defense. Trevor Daley can go.
He wants to be traded. He already said he'd get me off this team.
Well, that's good. He could go. Jimmy Howard should probably be traded. I don't know what his value is, but that's fine. And then Calvin Pickard is kind of stuck there. So
yeah, he's not going to get much value.
So really, the only guy that I said of 8 is probably Filppula. So, that's not going to help you at all. You're probably just better off keeping him and eating the contract. So the Red Wings, I don't think will do anything. The Devils are interesting. When you look at the roster for them, right? So Corey Schneider's career is over. That's kind of where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I think they're committed to Mackenzie Blackwood.
Not only that, I don't think he can play. I think his body is shot. Domingue is young. Blackwood's going to be the future there, so they have to let him kind of figure this out. I'm looking at 3 defensemen already that could go. Okay, Sami Vatanen can contribute on a winning team. He's young enough.
As an offensive defenseman. Oh, no, he's pretty old, but he's an offensive type defenseman.
He's not. He's
28. Okay.
Yeah. He's just been around in the league 15 years. So Sammy Vatanen can go. PK Subban can go.
You think they would trade him after his first year?
Why are you keeping him for? The team is awful, and he looks awful with them. This doesn't look right.
Because what else do they have, really, when you look at their defense?
That's fine.
Will Butcher's fine, but
Will Butcher I would trade too.
I don't trust any of these other names right now to be a contributor.
Andy Green.
And we see hockey all the time just fluctuate season to season where Subban, one, with that contract, I don't think he would get much trade value for him like they should. And two, again, who says this is not just one dud year?
That's fine. But, again, I think you just take the draft pick and move on. Move on. It was a bad experiment. And you didn't get PK Subban to rebuild. You thought Taylor Hall would buy in, and you thought your team was going to be good. That's why you got Subban. You did not get PK Subban to sit on the sidelines. The Devils thought they were competing this year. They were wrong, so you sell all those assets. Now, oh, my God, this is annoying. So, Subban can go. Andy Green has to go, right?
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to get for him. Just try anything at that point for him.
Now, here's where the interesting part comes.
I could see them maybe moving someone like Palmieri, too.
Thank you.
With him.
Yes. Kyle Palmieri has to go, and I think he's honestly the biggest name we've mentioned so far. He is on a winning team, probably a second, third line guy who can get you 30 to 40 goals.
Which 17 goals, 16 assists this year.
And his plus minus is always great. Not great, but
four. It's
good,
4,
good,
which is good for that team.
So, to me, that means, and he never really takes penalties. He's very quiet. He's not a hothead. So I can see Kyle Palmieri going to a team.
Vancouver, I think, would be a good fit.
Tampa Bay would suck. Young defenseman that they can trade. Add another depth piece. If he goes to Tampa Bay, I'm gonna quit hockey too. But
we thought that last year. Look what happened.
Yeah, well, Dallas makes a ton of sense.
Dallas, yeah, I could see that. I think Vancouver, is the big one. I think just because their team is mostly young and could use that kind of veteran presence.
Arizona makes a ton of sense.
Same kind of thing. Young team.
Edmonton makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Leadership for a young team.
I could see that.
Chicago, to get Patrick Kane, somebody that can freaking score.
I think they need defense more than they need offense.
No, they do, but it depends. If you're trying to win now, Palmieri, I think, has got a year other than this one on his contract. He might be up after this year. The Capitals. Jesus. The Capitals make a ton of sense, too.
The Blackhawks in the Western Conference have the second most goals allowed. Third most goals allowed this year in the Western Conference. Only trailing Minnesota, and who would have thought this? Nashville.
That's something else, isn't it? But, Jack Hughes even doesn't look right yet. So, this Pavel Zacha can go.
Yeah.
That experiment hasn't worked out.
Too many tries.
He's a solid player. Package him with Palmieri, get a young goalie or a young defenseman, something like that. But you need to go. And here comes Ottawa. Now, I'm not kidding when I say this. Ottawa really can help a team out. And Ottawa's got a couple guys I'm looking at going, okay. I would call you. So here's the thing. There's not a goalie. Craig Anderson, as old and as bad as he looks right now, with a young team, or not a young team, but with a team that can put a defensive, identity in front of him, he might get rejuvenated and be able to take a deep playoff run. Well, honestly, he might be able to do that.
He's one of those guys that I was talking about it yesterday when we were talking about the Mets with Michael Wacha. Craig Anderson's always been the same kind of thing. When he's good, he's really good.
Right.
But he's just too inconsistent. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. But again, the same problem with a lot of the other goalies we mentioned. The goalie market is pretty thin as it is right now, where unless there's an injury, it's going to be hard to see that kind of player getting that much value or just urgency to be traded for.
Zaitsev, I can see getting traded. The defenseman, he can help out any team. Shabbat is there to be built for.
Right.
Mark Barwichi.
Barecki.
He's a guy that would help out any winning team.
He is. Yeah, he's 30 years old. Yeah.
Callahan, Bobby Ryan.
That's going to be a tough contract to move.
Now we're getting to the real kit and caboodle of this, right? So you're keeping Tkachuk. Nimiskinov, you're probably keeping too, right? I mean, Mikhail Bodecker could.
Bodker,
I could see him being help.
Yeah, I would imagine he's younger where he would stay, I think.
Duclair.
Nemestikov, 11 goals, 11 assists. He's 27 years old. He's interesting, maybe. Duclair has been the overperformer where it's interesting to see if they dangle him what the offers would be. Being he just moved around so much, but he's also 24 where they might want to hang on to him too.
But anyway, and here's the big guy that I got to be honest with you, he'd be probably the steal of the deadline. And we've mentioned this guy a couple times, how he looks playing with a line full of, not ready players is amazing. Jean-Gabriel Piaggio is freaking fabulous.
He was on the list of in the article.
He's freaking great. And do you know who I think makes a ton of sense?
For Pajot?
Yes.
That's another one I think Dallas could definitely use.
Dallas is one. I'm thinking Pittsburgh.
I can see that, yeah.
I'm thinking Pittsburgh. I just think he would make a ton of sense there. Him learning from Crosby, Jesus God. Can you imagine? And by the way, Crosby looks great. I know he's phenomenal, but this whole Connor McDavid's the best player in hockey thing, I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. Until Sidney Crosby says, you know what, I don't want to play it anymore. Then it's McDavid. Sidney Crosby is playing with a fire I haven't seen since everyone called him a quitter. Remember that year? And every game he went out there and got 3 points? And then he got hurt, or the concussion thing, whatever it was. But let me tell you, Sidney Crosby right now is playing like he deserves another Stanley Cup. If he gets another Stanley Cup, he's the greatest player I've ever seen. I didn't see Gretzky live. And let me tell you, that guy is special. Just special. If he can get another guy like him.
Yeah.
And Anisimov, too. He's another guy that can help contribute.
Pajot, with his production this year, is the kind of guy that, one, the Penguins have dealt for similar players like him in the past, kind of smaller, veteran-type centers that are affordable. But his production, 20 goals, 12 assists, it's obviously not what he was, but they need somebody at least maybe help out to make up for the production they lost when they lost Gensel for the season.
Right.
So that's probably as close of as available player as you could get right now.
I'm going to tell you this, too. Gunther will be back.
Well, they have to make it deep enough into the playoffs because the initial injury diagnosis was 4 months. So
He's been gone about a month and a half.
Right, but 4 months at the best. It was 4 to 6, though, originally. So I would only imagine the Penguins would try to bring him back unless they're down maybe in a series, maybe 3-2 or something.
Oh, wow,
like that.
they just got Justin Schultz back.
The Penguins?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's helpful, too. He's plenty good as a postseason
Oh, he's
player.
a great defense.
And he's always good in the postseason for them.
Justin Schultz is a guy that I always look at and go, here we go. He'll screw us one way or the other. And that leads us to the Rangers. And the reason I stop at the Rangers is not because I'm a Ranger fan. It's because they are honestly the last team in the East you can kind of go, are they in or are they out? Or they're the first team, rather. And a lot of people are talking about what the Rangers should do and, should they buy? Should they sell? And I very rarely say sell, okay? If you're a young team, you know what your problems are, you don't have a defenseman, you don't have enough defensemen. You still have a big game goalie in Lundqvist. You still have a phenomenal stud in Shesterkin, who is going to be a caveat for this team for the next 10, 15 years. It's time, though, to realize that you've taken your process of a rebuild, and instead of being 4 to 6 years away, you're now 2 to 3 years away. You brought in Panarin. You traded for Zibanejad. You got Jacob Trouba in a heist. You still have Brady Shea. You still have young defensemen like Adam Fox and Tony DeAngelo who can put up points. You now need to go, you know what? We are pretty close. Let's not screw this up. By the way, they drafted a defenseman this year that I like. I'm trying to think of his name.
Matthew Robertson, I think his name is.
That's one of them. And they had 2 draft picks last year, correct?
Well, the first one was Kako, obviously.
Yes.
And I don't know if they spent another one on a defenseman that I remember. I know they drafted a goalie, too. A Swedish goalie in the second round, and I think they took Robertson at the end of the second round.
Or what did the Islanders take the defenseman everyone said the Rangers should take? Because me and you were talking about it, and somebody took something, and we were like, that's who we should have taken. Anyway.
I don't remember.
It's all right. It's really irrelevant. So, I'm sorry. These freaking I'm going to punch something in a second. But, so yeah, you're really not far. Ryan Strome. Everyone laughed at me when I said I love the addition of Ryan Strome. How many people said you're an idiot? Right? And look who's producing for the New York Rangers. The guy's got 43 points. I think he had 43 points his whole tenure on the Islanders. I'm serious. The guy finally has a chance to play, and he's playing well. Chittle. I think Chittle's going to be a phenomenal. Buchnevich is going to be good. You'd like to see more from Capo. You would. He's not disappointed, but he's
18.
He's 18, and New York's a very big place.
Right.
So right now he's just trying to fit in, I think. And honestly, this offseason, when Panarin kind of gets his, everything integrated, and he's like, hey, let's play a little bit. Capo this year is not, I wasn't expecting much. He's going to get double digits goals. He's going to have 30, 40, maybe 50 points. The plus minus is a problem, but the defense stinks, so whatever.
Right.
But I think the Rangers are closer than people think. You're stuck with Lundqvist, okay? And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. He is the greatest Ranger of the past 2 decades. He kind of earns the right to say, I want to be here. Good. But, we're going to figure this out, and he's not going nowhere, and that's fine, because Shesterkin can learn from him. Right. If you want Lundqvist traded, you're a fool. What do you want Shesterkin to do?
Yeah, because he's not going to get much value.
Right. Like, even Lundqvist had a backup goalie that taught him how to...
Yeah, taking in that contract is not going to be something that's going to gain any value. And as I have reiterated many times, the goalie market right now is just very thin.
Right. Brandon Lemieux. I love Brandon Lemieux. That guy's the balls to the team. The team plays tougher when he's on. Here, so what do you want to trade, right? Trouba, Fox, DeAngelo, I think are pillars. You need an answer on Brady Shea, and to be quite honest with you, if you dump him, then you dump him. It's all right to me.
You could dangle him, but we kind of know what he is at this point. He's a second-pair defenseman. And
no, agreed. And Lindgren's great, too, and, Mark Stahl is gone at the end of this year, so it is what it is. But, and this is what I want to point out to you. It's not that I don't mind having Shea. I like Brady Shea. Girlfriend loves Brady Shea. And it's not for hockey reasons. So, a good-looking guy. It's all right. But I need everyone to understand that Brady Shea, you can't let walk away. That's my point, okay? You need to – if he's not saying I want to be here long-term, then you have to trade him.
That's fair.
You can't just let him walk
But
away.
he hasn't said that, so I think.
No,
at this
but
point-
they haven't come to a contract extension either.
So I think at this point they're just trying to see what they can get in terms of the open market because there are other teams that do need defense. When you're looking at mostly in the Western Conference, Vancouver, Edmonton definitely just need defense. I think the Coyotes could definitely use some defensive depth. Winnipeg, if they're going to try to buy, maybe could.
Winnipeg ain't buying him.
Well, they could. I'm just saying they could try if they think they should. If they can contend. They're right now only 3 points back with a game at hand. So it's possible. And they have enough offense where they don't need that. So if there is enough defense available, they could try it.
Well,
Florida, maybe. That's really it, I think, in the East.
Well, here's the question everybody wants to know. And he's the biggest trade piece right now, I think, on the market. You have to make a decision on Chris Kreider. And it has to be right. It has to be right. Now, and what I mean by that is, obviously, you're either going to trade him or you're going to re-sign him. But it goes deeper than that. Because if your value for him, I'll tell you this right now, I would rather trade him and get, not shafted, but instead of like 2 gun prospects, getting 1 in a pick, and the young guy is, above average, or over-signing him to like a 7-8 year deal, and we're not able to, and we're going to get hit with that cap next offseason. I'm sorry, Chris Kreider, you're gone. If Kreider's not going to...
You think you would make that long of a contract?
It's not about length. That's the problem. It's not going to be about length. The Rangers, everyone acts like the Rangers are in cap hell. They're really not. The Rangers have a pretty good future with the cap. The problem here is they did this with Yager. They did this with a lot of guys. Kanash, okay? They buy, and then it's like, we're stuck with them. We're stuck. Like, the fact they got Brendan Smith, the first guy, out of here was absolutely amazing. It was amazing to me that they got him out of here. Like, how the hell did you take on that contract? But anyway, Chris Kreider cannot, if he's asking for 7 or 8, I'm sorry, you're out. You're gone. You're taking 5 or 6. And I even think 6 is a lot.
I think 6 is what his market's going to be because he's had good goal-scoring years recently, but he's not really a high-end goal scorer. Now, I like him for other things.
I love how
size,
hittable he
physicality.
is.
I think his passing vision is good. So I think he's utilized for other things where even if he doesn't make the goal-scoring production, he will still be productive in other areas. And if there is a longer contract, even if he does lose a little bit of speed, he still has those other aspects which will help him age better. And for the most part, he's pretty durable, too. He's had a couple injuries, minor injuries this year, but that's really it. He's pretty durable, usually on the ice. The only time he didn't play was when Tortorella didn't want to play him back in 2013. So I think I would want him back. I don't mind them trying to sell high on him if they can, but I would want him back for that reason, just because the Rangers don't have many other size guys, and they have guys that can pass for sure. It's not like they'd be losing.
They have so many winners, it's not even funny.
That's the reason I think they could dangle him, but again, I wouldn't try to sell low on him.
But I'm just asking, like, would you rather overpay him or would you rather sell low on him? I'd rather sell low.
Well, see, I don't know if he would get that kind of money, though. I don't think they would over.
Well, then guess what happened?
I don't think they
You
need
renegotiate in the offseason. Let's act like that hasn't happened before. You can trade somebody and still sign them again.
No,
That's
I know
honestly
that.
what I thought would happen with Ryan McDonough. I thought McDonough was just going to sign.
I know that. I'm thinking what'll end up happening is they're going to have a compromise at some point in terms of the money. I don't think 6 is bad. You're right, it's probably more of a 5.5 kind of thing, but I'm more worried about the fact that if the Rangers lose him, they're losing a concept dimension of the team, where the team is kind of one way. We can only
They
be a
are
speed
one way.
team. Right, we can only be a speed team. Where Kreider does provide that size, too.
Well, Lemieux provides the size.
Well, yeah, but we have to see how Lemieux develops, though, too.
Well, he can't shoot worth anything, so that's fine. But my other... And let me get this straight. I would prefer Kreider to stay. If he said 4 or 5 a year, that's great. Awesome. Yes, you could stay. I don't want to trade Chris Kreider. But the Rangers right now have such a need on defense, and there are guys on the market that are going to be like, okay. Like, I'll tell you this right now. I would rather trade Kreider for Subban and keep Subban long term.
Now, do you think that offer will be available?
No. No, I don't think so. The Devils are not going to help out the Rangers, and the Rangers are not going to give up a guy in Chris Kreider's stature and let him destroy them for the next 3 years.
Yeah, because the Rangers are kind of an in-between state right now.
But see, I don't think they're that in between. I really don't. I think that it's quite clear that the Rangers are on the up.
No, I mean they're an in-between state where are you going to trade Kreider for a already in the league, you kind of know what he is, defenseman, just to help that out? Or are
you just call PK Subban an in-between defenseman?
No. I said Chris Kreider. Are you going to trade Chris Kreider for a defenseman where you kind of know what he is at this point? Because I don't know if he's going to warrant a top-end defenseman just on his own. I think you'd have to trade more for that. And also, again, will it be somebody who's either young enough or established enough where you know how much of a boost he can apply?
I've got a trade for you.
Adam Fox has the potential. He'll get there to the number 1 spot, and Trouba right now is in that number 1 spot.
I've got a trade for you.
Okay.
Chris Kreider, a first-round pick, and I'm trying to think of a young defenseman the Rangers have. And why don't we throw in Jesper Fast, right?
Okay.
For Alec Martinez and Tyler Toffoli.
See, I don't know if the Kings would want to do that because they're rebuilding.
Right, but Tyler Toffoli is a free agent and he's gone.
Right, but I don't think...
And Toffoli brings size.
He does. No, I don't. I like it for the Rangers. I don't think the Kings would take that. I think the Kings are trying to get prospects.
Do we have a prospect worth giving a damn about?
Keandre Miller's a defensive prospect.
There he is. That's who I like.
That was 2 drafts ago, not last year.
I apologize. I like Keandre Miller.
Yeah,
I think
did
he'll
too.
be fun.
Yes, I did too.
Nope. 4-0 Rangers. Power play goal, it looks like. And they're not going to tell me who scored, right? Just saying. We're in the third period, and it's still 4-0 Rangers. And Shesterkin's in net. Just putting it out there. Mm-hmm. And for those of you who can't put that together, I feel awfully sorry for you. Oh, my God. This line's freaking devastating. So, Panarin and Tony DeAngelo got assists. and Mika Zibanejad got a goal. I think that's his fourth point. No, I'm sorry. It's his third. He only had 2 assists. But, yeah. So, the Z-Man is back. And also, he missed, about a month?
Yeah.
Imagine if he did miss that month.
Yeah, I think he missed 13 games or something like that.
Right. So, just imagine if we would have had him. Stupid flies. We probably would have won 6 of those 13 instead of 2.
It's possible.
All I'm saying is the Islanders act like they're the only team in New York, and I'm saying bring it. Bring it on. I'm just kidding. All Islander fans act like everything Ranger fans say is such a problem. Oh, they hurt our feelings. We won 4 Stanley Cups in the 80s. You weren't alive. Okay? You weren't alive for them. None of you. Half of you talk to me and talk about these 80s, right? Which is great. Yes, you have a better 10-year run than the Rangers did. But who won the last Stanley Cup? The New York Rangers. And who went to the Stanley Cup last? The New York Rangers. Who won the President's Cup last? The New York Rangers. So don't talk to me about success, okay? Because the recent success favors the New York Rangers, not the Islanders. Oh, well, we went to the playoffs last year. Whoop-de-freaking-do. Whoop-de-doo-dah. You had a great run. You took the NHL season by storm. Matt Barzal is phenomenal. I've never bashed Matt Barzal. But when he leaves, as fast as he got here.
You really think they're going to let that happen again?
I don't think it's going to be up to them. I don't know. Barzal wants to be there. You're forgetting. They're getting a brand new stadium. Brand new. And around there, they don't really care for hockey.
That's going to hurt their chances of re-signing their star player.
If people don't go, Matt Barzal will leave. Why did they get kicked out of Nassau?
Right, but at the
no one went.
Right, but at the same time, you need a star like Barzal to drive in.
No,
fans.
I agree. They'll overpay for him and they'll try their best. But it's up to Barzal. It's not up to the Islanders. The Islanders were the ones that, you want to be here, John Tavares? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Idiots. Idiots. I'm going to leave. What? You can't be serious. I would never let a player dictate what I do on my team. Ever. Hey, listen, it's been a pleasure. You've been great. But I don't know if you're staying or not. You don't want to talk contract. We've offered you a massive extension. You haven't taken it. I'm not gambling this way. I'll renegotiate with you in the summertime. If you leave, then you leave anyway. Good luck going to Minnesota. Or good luck going to L.A. Or good luck going wherever you're going. But you're not going to be here. The fact that they let that guy run that organization, that's like the Cleveland Cavaliers going, hey, LeBron, who do you think we should bring in? Dwayne Wade. He's 34 years old with 2 bad knees. He'll help me win a championship. Okay. 3 months later, hey, LeBron, why does half the team hate you and Dwayne Wade? I don't know. Oh, that's great. Why is everyone complaining now?
It's really not that kind of drama in hockey, though.
No, but I'm just saying in general, like, you shouldn't give a player that power. And no, I didn't take a shot at LeBron. It's just an example. It's very rare that somebody has that much power. But John Tavares...
Well, basketball's a big difference.
Right.
It is a player-run league.
No, it is. But hockey, John Tavares is the most recent example. Like, if Pittsburgh went to Crosby and said, who do you think we should bring in? I get it. Crosby's not leaving, and he's only won so many Stanley Cups for him. Like, Jesus. You know he's invested in winning more. John Tavares won nothing, did nothing, and got hurt more than he won anything. So it's like, goodbye. Plus, I mean, like, I get Islander fans didn't want to believe the rumors. How many rumors did you hear that whole season that he wanted out? And everyone denied it. Everyone was, like, in denial. Oh, no, the Islanders...
I called him going to Toronto in February that year. I remember that.
Right, but, like, if you called it, the team should have called it. Like, reporters were literally reporting not the year he left, the year before that. Toronto's where he wants to go. And no one cared. Everyone was like, no, he wants to be here. He wants to be here. But we won 4 Stanley Cups in the 80s. Why wouldn't he want to be here? We're the freaking Islanders. Where else is there to go? The Maple Leafs. Why would he want to go there? They got another young guys. What are you talking about? There's nobody there.
And they have the new laughable championship drought. Now that the Cubs won.
All I know is this. And I can't believe it. I think the Islanders as a team will win one before John Tavares does.
I think so too. That Leafs defense is not good.
Not only that, I just think that
and the pressure too.
And there's so many. That team basically kicked out Austin Matthews. They had to pick between Matthews and Marner, and they picked Marner. Mm-hmm. So when Austin Matthews leaves, then what happens?
Yeah, then at that point you're just recycling, unless you can use his money to get better on defense.
And by the way, I am begging somebody to call here and tell me Austin Matthews will stay. There's no way in hell he'll stay. He's an American kid. He wants to play in the States. That's one. 2, who is taking the pay cut? It's not John Tavares. It's not going to be Anderson. It's not going to be Marner because his contract's brand new. William Nylander?
He already got a contract last year.
No, I know, but who's going to restructure it?
Oh, okay.
Right. So Matthews is gone. Matthews is absolutely gone, and it's a shame too because he's so much better than the rest of that team. It's scary. And Marner and Tavares are elite players, and Matthews is that much better. Everyone's talking about McDavid. I think Matthews is the future of the league.
Well, I don't know if he's McDavid. I wouldn't go that far.
McDavid's. Oh, damn. Damn. Robbie Faberi and Dylan Larkin, you jackasses. Well, so Shesterkin's shutout is gone. Shout out to the guy that went, oh, it was a shut. Yeah, shutout. And then it went, they scored. I guess there's no shutout today. Shout out to that guy because I know somebody did it. I absolutely knew. That's why I didn't say it out loud. Idiots. I'm sorry. You're not idiots. I'm just. But yeah. And real quick, the biggest name that should be traded is by far. Kopitar needs to go. Toffoli needs to go. Martinez needs to go. Jonathan Quick, if there's anyone in the league that wants to take him. Again, I doubt.
That's the goalie, I think. If there is going to be a team that trades for a goalie, that's the one I think that has the most.
And you'd be right. But the problem, again, is who would take him. For the Ducks, I'm looking at Delzato. Getzlaff can go. There's no reason to have Getzlaff. Silfberg can go. Fowler can go. And Larson?
I would keep Raquel.
Yeah, he's gone. I'm keeping Lindholm.
Henrique, maybe you could trade.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good answer. Yeah, that's a good
Teams
answer.
could always use center depth. So.
And he's young, too. I always forget how young he is. Again, another guy I feel like has been around forever. But yeah, Raquel needs to stay because he's the future of the team. So.
Yeah, because most of the other forwards besides that are young, too. So you kind of know that they're going to grow with them.
And then there's the Sharks. And I'm just gonna go down the list. Joe Thornton, out of respect, needs to go. Patrick Marleau needs to go. Evander Kane, I would trade.
I think he said he wants to stay, though.
Yeah, well, then you're an idiot. That's fun. Brandon Dillon can go. And Brandon Dillon fits perfectly on the Rangers. Kreider for Dillon is not a loss. I would take that instantly.
How old is he?
30. And we're going to get picks back, but...
Okay, I just want to see what his contract is, too.
Vlasic? Vlasic.
I like him.
fits.
I like him. I think he's older, though.
Yeah, he's older than Dillon. And then, of course, there's the two big guys, Brent Burns and Erik Karlsson. And I'm just going to tell you this now. I would trade one or other or both because there's nobody on this team right now that I would keep long-term.
Vlasic actually...
And Logan Couture, too. Goodbye.
It could be a tough contract to move just because he is older, but he is controllable for a while for a contending team, and he's a defensive defenseman.
Right, he doesn't even care about touching the puck.
I think you could definitely see him get a lot of value to, like I said, a Vancouver.
How the hell? Who ruined the shutout for Shesterkin? Who? You?
Why would I ruin a shutout for Shesterkin?
I don't know, Bojangles, but I want to go over there and jangle you right now. That's I don't know why that nickname came about. I'm so sorry, Speedy.
That's fine. I don't mind it. I'm the chicken thief.
You are something else. You are something else. That's for right, my friend. Anyway, so now that we dig into that, it's time. It's that time of year. It's the end of January, the first weekend of February, which absolutely means there's going to be one thing, a bunch of freaking commercials.
Oh, that's a shame.
The commercials are going to be good. By the way, the Hyundai commercial that you're going to see is going to be funny as hell. It's Jim from The Office.
Okay.
Captain America. Some girl from Saturday Night Live. I don't know who she is. And David Ortiz makes an appearance at the end. In Boston. Sonata. Smat Pack. It's hysterical. So it's hysterical. Watch the commercial. It's funny. I watch it at least twice a day. It's hysterical. It's absolutely hysterical. And they're gonna see like 5 Genesis commercials.
I just hope they do a sequel of the Joe Montana Stain commercial. That was the best one in the Ravens 49ers Super Bowl.
Yeah.
With the stain of the salsa that looked exactly like Joe Montana, and then the wife, who's a Ravens fan, washes it when he was telling all his friends, "No, don't wash it, don't wash it. It's legendary." And she washes it and says, "Go Ravens." I hope there's a sequel of that. Because that was the best commercial I remember seeing in a long time.
Might be. Don't doubt it. My favorite commercial is the Odell Eli one.
Yeah.
From
2 years ago. Yeah.
That's perfect. That it was done so great. And then I love the NFL 100 commercial. I think it's great. I think it's absolutely fantastic. All those stars run after the football. It's great.
Yeah, that was good.
And then Franco Harris with the immaculate reception.
Yep.
That's freaking great. But yeah. So when we come back, we're gonna go Mahomes. I'm so good. I started here okay at puns. I've graduated to a different. Stop scoring on Shostorkin. I hate the Rangers defense. I hate it. Dan Quinn, what are you doing? David Quinn, what are you doing? Dan Quinn's prepping for next season. Mm-hmm. Dan Quinn is David Quinn, what are you doing? David Quinn should be up for Coach of the Year. He shouldn't win it, but he should be
he's
up
a good coach. I wouldn't say Coach of the Year.
I didn't say win it, Speedy. I said up for it. Listen to me when I speak.
Maybe top 10. I don't know about beyond that.
I didn't say win it. I just said he should be. I don't know. He should be in the conversation. That's all. That's it. That's all I said. The guy from Washington, I think, should win it.
I think Mike Sullivan should win it, personally, with all the injuries the Penguins had to deal with this year.
Oh, yeah, that's a good answer, too. That is a great answer.
He's done
Aaron Boone had 33 injuries. Oh, God. Give me a break.
And that is your daily shot at Aaron Boone.
You want to talk about injuries? Let's talk about what Kyle Shanahan had to go through for San Francisco.
Oh, he's Coach of the Year for the NFL. I agree with that.
Oh, let's talk about those injuries. He missed his 2 starting tackles for like a third of the season. And he missed his starting left tackle, I think, all year. I think Joe Staley played till week 6 or 17.
Yeah, I think he
Staley missed a lot of time.
I think he missed 8 games or something like that.
No, he missed more than 8 games. There's no way he played 8 games. There's no way he played 8 games. But anyway, when we come back, we break down number 54. This Sunday is Super Bowl 54 down in Miami. We are being represented there right now by none other than Errol Marks himself.
He played 7 games this year.
Did he play 7 games? Yeah. Oh, wow. That's amazing to me. Because I could have sworn every time I looked at the injury report, he was out.
Yeah, he was mostly out for the entire second half of the season.
But that's amazing. Anyway, when we come back, we talk about the biggest football game of the year. No, not soccer. Football. American football. San Fran, Kansas City, Reed, Shanahan, Jimmy G, Patty M.
Alex Smith's former teams, Joe Montana's former teams.
Oh, God damn. If you're Alex Smith, San Francisco screwed you out of 1 Super Bowl, though. Not 2. Kansas City screwed you out of 2.
Yes, they lost to a team that kicked 6 field goals.
So did Dallas.
They did.
Yeah, Will Lutz.
Oh, he kicked 4 field goals.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
The Steelers won 18-16 in 2016 against the Chiefs in the second round. 6 field goals.
That's funny. Now Big Ben's kicking his own ass. Yep, Daily shot at Big Ben, too. So when we come back, next on the home stretch, we break down the Super Bowl.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
I manage the baseball team.
Little League.
Fantasy League.
We are back with the home stretch. Stretch on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Welcome back into the home stretch here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Speedy Petey here with Tyler Harrison. The number to call is 1-845-478-3272. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and
That's later.
iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio on our live feed right now. We're going to get in now to Super Bowl 54, the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs, or as I like to call it, the Joe Montana Bowl.
Right. I've seen.
Yes, the Joe Montana Bowl and also the Alex Smith Bowl. And I think there was a wide receiver that played for both teams recently, too. I don't remember. Not anyone on their current roster, but one of those bad receivers for the Chiefs when they had that streak where they didn't have a touchdown pass from a wide receiver.
Oh, Dwayne Bowe?
No, it wasn't. No, Dwayne Bowe was a good receiver. I don't remember. It was one of those guys. I think there was a receiver who played for both the Chiefs and the 49ers. But nonetheless, we're getting into our Super Bowl preview now, so I guess we'll get into just each team, what they need to do, strengths and weaknesses. We'll start in the AFC with the Kansas City Chiefs. So what are some of I think, the biggest things they're going to have to prove? Because they proved a lot already against Tennessee. Their run defense, being able to stop Derrick Henry the way they did. Offensive line, I think, too. But what do you think are some of the things they're going to have to prove to take out this 49ers potent run game and pass rush as a whole, front seven as a whole, too? Because those linebackers are good, too.
Here's the thing about San Francisco, right? The front seven is so deep. Their front seven's ridiculous. Like, Solomon Thomas starts on half the league. He's not playing. He's not playing this. He's not starting in this game, rather. Kansas City's going to have a hard time in this football game. I think putting up points. I do. Pat Mahomes is going to be as phenomenal. Oh, the Ranger game is on, sorry. As phenomenal as he is, Tyreek Hill, I think Richard Sherman and Tart are going to have a pretty easy time containing him because unless Tyreek Hill is running sprints the whole game, Sherman's going to be able to keep up with him. Sherman's lost a step, sure, but and Tyreek Hill's
physicality will help with.
Yeah, but Tyreek Hill's speed over the top is going to be huge for the Chiefs in this football game. If they can get that going, then fine. But outside of that, you don't have anybody to really kind of. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't even put Sherman on him. I would put Sherman on Kelsey or put Sherman on one of the other guys on the other side and let Mosley take Hill and just let them run. Because Mosley is the faster guy of the two.
I actually disagree. I think Sherman's physicality could be something to take out Hill in terms of like a press zone. You could have somebody else help. Maybe against more intermediate routes. Maybe have somebody like Fred Warner or Drake Greenlaw take over after that.
Oh, Quan Alexander. Those guys are going to fluster the middle of the field. Travis Kelce will be a non-factor in this football game. He will not have a huge impact. He'll have big plays, but he's not going to have stats.
But I actually think they could help even bracket and man coverage, too. We saw Tennessee do that a lot. Tennessee did that with Kelsey at times, but also did that with Hill in the sense where they had either Byard come up and play with Adoree Jackson or play with Logan Ryan, or they would bring on Rashaan Evans before he got hurt, or Jayon Brown. They sometimes would do that, and I think the Niners have very similar linebacker talent where they can do that in terms of flankering that, those tougher routes, and have Sherman play press zone, make it hard for him to get a free release, and then in that case hope the pass rush can get there. So that'll end up making a difference. The Niners, I think, in terms of their pass rush, they're going to have to get it mostly in the interior because Mahomes did a great job extending the plays when it was outside pass rush and he could recognize it. So if they can get the interior, that'll make things easier too. Plus, again, for the sake of dominating against Hill like the way they're doing, if the pass rush is going to get there, it's going to have to be right away. And you always say a straight path quarterback is more efficient.
That's fine. But when you look at this game realistically, right, and I'm trying to find the season stats for these teams, but the computer's taking forever. When you watch the Niners, right, with Nick Bosa on the outside, Nick Bosa is not a pass rusher to where Pat Mahomes is going to be able to elude him. Pat Mahomes is an athletic freak. So I'm not saying Pat Mahomes is going to this slow Peyton Manning-like quarterback in the pocket. Pat Mahomes is going to be able to break a couple 2-3 yard runs if Bosa gets there. But it's not just Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa is the most athletic lineman they have. DeForest Buckner is going to be in the hole. Eric Armstead is going to either be in the hole or on the other side. And then you've got guys like Sheldon Day and Armstead could go on one side and
Sheldon Day's also
Solomon Thomas on the other.
Yeah.
Right, so it doesn't really matter. Like, they can just hit you with so many different guys. Mahomes is going to be very hard-pressed for time. The Chiefs' offensive line is good. It's good. It's not great. The trenches are going to be won by San Francisco. I think San Francisco's defensive line is better than the Chiefs' offensive line. I think the Niners' offensive line is better than the Chiefs' defensive line. McGlinchey on Chris Jones or or Tomlinson on Jones or Clark on McGlinchey or Staley. This is not a team that's going to... And here's the thing that everyone needs to remember. Dee Ford is going to know what Pat Mahomes likes to do. Dee Ford was the notable trade piece. Everyone was like, why'd you trade Dee Ford in the offseason? No, it made no sense to anybody. Except San Francisco and Kansas City, because they're the only teams that benefited from it. And they're both in the Super Bowl. Here's the biggest factor in this football game to me. Is Pat Mahomes one of the guys that's going to lead this team, lead the league to the future? Yes. He absolutely is, without question. I cannot tell you how many shows I've watched, how many reports I've read that say Jimmy G is a game manager. That's not true.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Jimmy Garoppolo can play. He's intelligent. He's mobile. I still can't believe I had to defend his mobility in a group chat this network had. That's ridiculous and asinine in its own right. Jimmy Garoppolo can put it down and run for 10 yards if he needs to. Stop, okay? Jimmy Garoppolo is the complete package. He can throw short, medium, long. Is he going to be Pat Mahomes? No. But guess what? Kyle Shanahan's not telling him he has to be. Kyle Shanahan's saying you're going to flourish because you're going to be benefiting from my system because I know how smart you are. And here's the guy I think that's going to win MVP of the game. Kyle Juszczyk.
Kyle Juszczyk.
Yes,
like it.
Kyle Juszczyk, a fullback. You're nuts. You're crazy. He's going to be leading the block. He's going to be in every snap because he's going to be helping that running game. He's going to go in the slot. They use him in the slot, and there's nobody on that outside for Kansas City that's going to be able to keep up with him.
They use him in bunch formations, too.
Yeah, he gets used all over the place. He's going to be... He didn't touch the ball all postseason. He has not touched the football once. He's dynamic. He is arguably their best player. Him or George Kittle. Take your pick. But Kyle Juszczyk is so important to that offense. He's the guy that might not touch the football and still be MVP. He's so important to what Kyle Shanahan likes to do. Him and George Kittle. They're both very equivalent in this equation.
Remember when fullbacks were supposed to be dead? Now the two teams left have two good fullbacks.
Devlin and... Are you talking about Devlin?
No, I'm talking about Anthony Sherman and Kyle Juszczyk, the two teams in the Super Bowl.
Well, Patrick Ricard is also a fullback, isn't he?
Yeah. I'm talking about the two teams in the Super Bowl. Both have good fullbacks, and
right.
most of the league don't even have one.
Right. Well, most fullbacks now are tight ends.
All right.
So it's great. You know who would have been a great person to have in that slot? And I'm not. God, this is a bad pun, but Aaron Hernandez would have been great in today's NFL. It really is a shame, but anyway, I do think everyone's talking about Kelce. I don't think Travis Kelce's gonna have a big football game. Green Lawn, Quan Alexander is going to be a huge part of this football game.
The one thing that concerns me, though, with that is if the Niners have to bring extra pressure to either side.
Oh, I don't think
they might need to have somebody either be a spy or, again, do some exotic blitzes if Mahomes is able to roll out the same way he did against Tennessee. Because, remember, Tennessee had some very creative coverage schemes that Patrick Mahomes had to hold the ball for a while and figure out. The problem is their pass rush just couldn't get there. And Mahomes had so much time he was able to roll to the left, set his feet, and then create throws. If he does that to the Niners and they have to bring extra pressure as a result, that could leave Kelsey one-on-one, and that could make it easier for him to get some extra yards after the catch and stuff like that, too. Because I agree, because Robert Saleh plays a lot of zone, and they do have the linebacker talent to be able to play some hook zones in the middle of the field. In terms of a natural pocket precision defense, I agree with you. But if they have to bring extra pressure or contain guys on the side, that could make it harder, especially if the Chiefs also use some spread formations, too, and utilize their slot receivers.
Right, and again, that's a valid point. Now, I'm just going to mention one guy real quick because I know how this is going to go. Just putting it out there, right? You're also talking about, we don't even mention Fred Warner's name on the show, but I think you're talking about a guy in Jimmy Ward who might be able to keep up with Kelsey. Underneath, I don't think that San Francisco's going to have a hard time covering Kelsey.
His man coverage ability is not great, though.
But it's going to be good enough to keep up with Kelsey. And Pat Mahomes is going to have to be superhuman to win this football game. Damian Williams is going to be irrelevant to me. I don't think he's going to have more than 2.5 yards to carry.
Damian Williams has done well in the second half in both their games so far. I think in this one, he's going to have to actually be better in the first half, really, to wear out that pass rush at least.
Kansas City has to come. If Kansas City goes down 24-0 early in this football game, or they trail by double digits late in the football game, it's over. It's a wrap. They're not going to be that defense. And here's the part that is not talked about either. San Francisco played hurt all year. Dee Ford, Quan Alexander missed how many weeks? 10, 12 weeks? Okay? So you're talking about guys now that are fresh. The front seven rotates so much, and they're so deep. Everyone's going to be nicked and banged up, all right? But San Francisco, I think, had the perfect season you could ask for. No major injuries, no nothing. And honestly, Tevin Coleman's probably not going to play in the Super Bowl. Okay, he's probably not.
I think he's only going to be used as a pass catching back.
Oh no, he's going. I thought he. It looked like he broke his arm. But
they said he's going to play, but I think they're only going to use him as a pass catching back.
Well, then, regardless of how they use him in the scheme, if he plays, it's going to be helpful. But I don't see how. There's not a matchup I like for Kansas City in this football game. I don't like any of them.
Really?
They have big playability, and I think big playability will go volumes for them. But
I have to like the receiving depth.
No. That's not what I mean. I mean the corner depth for the Niners, I think, is pretty close to what they have in Kansas City. Outside Tyreek Hill, you've got rotating pieces with speed.
Right, but
Robinson, Hartman.
They've all been productive, though, and they're all tricky in terms of they can do a lot of different things.
Sure.
Too. Now, the Niners have those guys, too, to some extent.
Oh, Marquise Godwin might have a game, too. Marquise Godwin, Emmanuel Sanders, don't sleep on them.
I don't know, guys. Goodwin hasn't played in a long time. I don't know if he'll play now.
And me and you talked about Pettis.
Yeah, because I think he's going to have to be a guy that's used for the Niners for the purpose of the Chiefs, besides Breeland. Breeland's more of a physical guy. He's going to be more like Sherman. He's going to play a lot of press zone, and he's going to play a lot of middle-of-the-field zone. He's not going to be running with guys. Kendall Fuller's got speed that can run with those guys. And their slot corner is it Rashad Fenton? He's a rookie, I think. I think it's Rashad Fenton. He has a lot of good speed, too. So that's going to be interesting to be utilized. Pettis is another guy
good one,
with size that maybe could win those jump ball battles. Same kind of thing with Kendrick Bourne. He's that kind of receiver, too,
right,
where he can make tough catches. That's why he's been used more of as a red zone threat. And I think he's that same kind of player, too.
Richard James is a special teams stud.
Right. So they have those kinds of guys, but so do the Chiefs. And the Chiefs have those kinds of guys, too, that can make the tough catches. Hardman has some drop problems at the beginning of the season, but he's been better now with that, and he's, again, good for trickier routes. Robinson I'm a little concerned with because he had a lot of drops against the Texans and a couple against Tennessee as well. But then you got Byron Pringle is another guy they've used a lot. Damian Williams, even as a receiving back, has been good. He caught a touchdown against Tennessee in the fourth quarter. So I think that is something that's definitely going to be a matchup trouble if they move those guys around. Robert Saleh, I think, is up to the challenge. The question is, again, how much do they have in terms of the secondary depth to be able to handle all that? Because Richard Sherman, again, is only one player, and Jaquiski Tartt's only one player. So
Here's the thing about that. I'm really not concerned. I like Quan Williams. I think Quan Williams is going to be fine. And here's another guy that we're not talking about nearly enough. Akil Witherspoon might have a huge part in this football game.
really,
Yeah. Yep.
after all his struggles,
Yeah. And Jason Verrett, by the way, if somehow he's able to, I don't think he's
if
playing,
he's able to play, yeah. But I didn't hear anything where that was going to be the case.
but I really, I'm sorry. I don't think I'm on the firm believer in this one. As long as Jimmy, and here's ultimately the biggest thing, right? Shanahan, yes, he's the first. It's his first go around as a coach. It's not his first go around in the Super Bowl. Okay, he learned from Dan Quinn's mistakes. I can assure you, he learned from Dan Quinn's mistakes. Andy Reid, it's not his first trip to the Super Bowl either. But it is Patrick Mahomes' first trip to the Super Bowl.
Inexperience is not negative experience, though.
No, it's not. But Jimmy Garoppolo has an unfair advantage that Pat Mahomes never had and was never able to have. He didn't learn from Tom Brady. Jimmy Garoppolo learned from Tom Brady. Jimmy Garoppolo knows what play to make, and ultimately, Jimmy Garoppolo knows live today to not die tomorrow. I'm not throwing this ball right now to make a big play. Pat Mahomes will make that mistake.
You really think so, though?
Pat Mahomes,
He's not really mistake prone.
he's not mistake prone, but he has no choice. The offensive line and the running game, I think, are going to be so inept at this football game that Pat Mahomes is going to have big play after big play because he's going to need quick scores. He needs the defense to stay off the field. And here's the thing. He can't let San Francisco be on the field because if San Francisco can easily control the clock, he needs to score 2, 3, 5 play drives. If Kansas City has to control the clock, it's playing into San Fran's hand. You cannot have 10, 12-yard plays to settle for field goals because San Francisco will win that football game. They need explosion, and I don't know how explosive. San Francisco's defense is so. I've read reports that these teams are close defense. They're not.
They're close in points defense.
But
the Chiefs are only half a point worse or something like that.
That's lovely. And to be fair, there are some matchups I like for Kansas City's defense. I love the Honey Badger roaming around. I think that's going to be a massive plus. And it's his first Super Bowl, so you know he's going to be all the way. He's going to be, again, I think Jamal Adams and him are 1 and 2 in the safeties. I don't think it's close. Ultimately, at the end of the day, what wins championships? Defense, running the football. Kansas City can't do that. San Francisco can.
Well, if their defense didn't play as well as they did to get to this point, they wouldn't be here either. Derrick Henry was running over top defenses, and Kansas City held 69 yards.
Yeah, well, the thing about that is, Kansas City was down 24-0, right, to the Texans.
A kind of fluky 24-0, though. Keep that in mind.
Sure, whatever, but a common theme is generally, all right, if you make that mistake, don't do it the next week. They also came out very, not sluggish, but they didn't come out completely ready to play against the Titans either. Okay? The Titans were just equally kind of dysfunctional in the first half. The Titans in the first half and the Chiefs in the second half canceled out to me. The Chiefs' defense in the first half is what won that football game because they made key stops and everything like that. And the Titans were kind of like, all right, we're just stalling to get Henry time. That never worked because Derrick Henry just never got into the game. You can't do that this time. You cannot do that in this football game. You will lose. And Andy Reid, ultimately, is kind of questionable in big games. We don't know. And you said inexperience isn't negative. Kyle Shanahan was not the reason that the Falcons.
Oh, I agree. Thank
He's
you
not.
for being the only one who understands that. The Falcons did not lose because of time.
Well, Falcons lost because they got beat by the goat. They got bit by the billy goat. What did you want them to do? Honestly.
Well, they beat themselves, too. But
Oh, it helps having the greatest quarterback of all time lead the charge on the other end.
still, they got too conservative too early.
And let's just be honest here. Andy Reid ain't Bill Belichick.
No, but also factor in Steve Spagnuolo, also factor in Eric Bieniemy, too.
Well,
That makes a big difference as
hold on. Yes, and that's going to be that. Everyone's talking about X factors. The biggest X factor to me for the Chiefs is Steve Spagnuolo, because Steve Spagnuolo can figure this out. And to be honest with you, I thought he got a raw deal in then St. Louis, but I think that what you're looking at is a team that can really. I'm not saying that this game's definitively going to be a blowout. I do think the first half will be close. But after a while, I think San Francisco's depth is just too much. They're deep everywhere. They've got 3 running backs that can rush for 100 yards at any given time. They got 2-3 receivers that can go out there and drop 100 yards whenever they need. That's not including Kittle and Juszczyk. Their offensive line is phenomenal. Garoppolo is not a game manager. If you think that, I don't know what to tell you. You probably shouldn't watch the Super Bowl. Then go watch, I don't know, the Lingerie Bowl or something, because you don't know football. But Jimmy Garoppolo is not a game manager. Jimmy Garoppolo is a very put-together quarterback who has, to me, no weakness. He's just not. He's a jack of all trades and a master of none, if that makes sense. Pat Mahomes is just a master at almost everything.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Mahomes is the better. Mahomes is a worse quarterback than Jimmy G. I just think for the systems in place, Garoppolo has to do less than Mahomes, and I think Garoppolo can do that better than Mahomes.
Interesting. All right, one more thing before we get to our pick. A sleeper player for each team that you think can go off. Or not go off, but have an impact.
A sleeper player from each team. What do you mean by sleeper?
Maybe somebody who doesn't play a lot, a rotational guy on defense, maybe.
Well, I mentioned Akil Witherspoon, so I think him for San Francisco could be huge. On the offensive side for San Francisco, I really think it could be Pettis. I do. I believe that they are going to let Pettis have a play or two in this football game where they go, you're either going to show us that you're going to mature or you're just not going to be part of this team long term. And if Dante Pettis is as good as he was advertised coming out of the draft, this game should be the markstone for that. For Kansas City defensively, I don't know if there's going to be a breakout guy. Reggie Ragland could have a huge impact. I can see that. I can see Reggie Ragland kind of controlling George Kittle over the top. But offensively for the Chiefs, it's going to have to be Damian Williams. Pat Mahomes cannot rely on him to just throw for 400 yards in this football game. That's not going to happen. It's just not going to.
All right, so my guys are, for the Chiefs, I'm going to say a linebacker that doesn't play all the time, but is somebody that matchups up well with what the Niners like to do, is Dorian O'Daniel, young linebacker who was on that Clemson national championship team a while back. He doesn't play all the time, but he's the type of player they need, because Ragland, he's a nice player, but he's more of a physical guy. He's more of a zone coverage, inside run stopping, just your traditional middle linebacker type. And then after that, you got Anthony Hitchens, who's more of that physical coverage guy, who isn't a great tackler, isn't a great run stopper. And Damian Wilson is kind of the same thing. Dorian O'Daniel has the speed and coverage ability to cover the flats. I think he's a good matchup for the running backs, good matchup to cover the flats, and maybe to set some chips on those bunch formations. Kyle Shanahan, like you were reiterating earlier, we were talking about Juszczyk. He uses guys like Juszczyk and Kittle and Ross Dwelly, their number 2 tight end. He uses a lot of those guys in bunch formations. So I think that those kinds of players are vital. So I think he should be somebody that, if Spagnuolo is smart, which he definitely is, he's somebody that I think rotates a lot into this game. So that's my pick for defense. For offense for the Chiefs, I'm going to say this is another big one for Watkins. Sammy Watkins, I think, is a big game in this one too. You're talking about the one receiver with size on this team, and this Niners secondary after Sherman is pretty small, and that's where I think Watkins can win a lot of jump balls. He's also good after the catch too, good speed for his size, and Andy Reid knows how to move him around too. So I think he ends up having the highest receiving total among any Chiefs receiver in this game. I really do. More than Hardman, more than Tyreek Hill, and I think more than Travis Kelce. I think you're going to see Watkins have a big game. For the 49ers, I'm going to go with one of their other running backs, Jeff Wilson. I think he plays a big role in this game. I think that the Chiefs are really going to game plan hard for Raheem Mostert because he's the hot hand, kind of like Derrick Henry was when they played him. He's the hot hand, and Coleman's probably not going to run much. So I think they're going to game plan for him. So I think Kyle Shanahan, one of his counters is going to be use Jeff Wilson, who was a big touchdown guy in the beginning of the season for them. And then when Mostert got hot, he just got less touches after that. Matt Breida is another one that's definitely possible. But
Yes.
He's been hurt, so we'll see how much he plays. I thought he was going to play more against Green Bay, but that didn't happen.
Well,
So
Mostert ran for damn near 300 yards.
Jeff Wilson, I think, could be a guy in the red zone that can make a difference. And just as a change of pace running back to what Coleman and Mostert are, I think that can make a difference conceptually in trying to fool Spagnuolo. And then defensively, it's Dre Greenlaw. Dre Greenlaw, who replaced Kwan Alexander all year. The same kind of thing I was saying with Dorian O'Daniel. He has speed. He has coverage ability to the flats. I think his coverage ability is a little better than O'Daniel's, where he can also run deep too, run to the first down line if needed to. Good sideline speed, and if he's needed to use his quarterback spot, he's got the good tackling ability, good speed for that too. I think this game is really going to be won in the slot areas for both teams. Both these teams love motion. Both these teams love bunch formations. And both these teams, with different positional emphasis, will be spreading guys out. So it'll be up to those faster linebackers to make a difference in this game. All right, here it is. Time for the picks.
Whoa, hold on.
No.
So before we do that,
Okay.
I kind of want people to know where our picks are coming from, right? So why don't we do this? Because we got some time to kill, too. So why don't we do this? We're going to break down each, so obviously the quarterback advantage, we're going to agree Kansas City, right?
Kansas City, yeah.
All right. The running game, we're going to probably
San
agree is
Francisco,
San Francisco. Okay. So the receiving core, you would favor.
Kansas City, definitely Kansas City for that.
Yeah, okay. The tight ends are a wash.
Tight ends are close, but again, I think Kittle's more valuable just as a blocker too.
Well, right. I think he's the next Gronk. Offensive line, I'm taking San Francisco.
I'll take San Francisco slightly, but I think what the Chiefs did against Tennessee was really impressive, and that shows that they are a lot better talent-wise, or a lot better performance-wise than I thought they were talent-wise.
Defensive line, I'm taking San
San Fran,
Francisco. Linebackers, I'm also taking San Francisco.
I agree.
Corners, I will take San
I'm
Francisco.
taking Kansas City for corners.
Really?
I think Sherman's the best one of either team,
Right.
but I like the combo of Fuller and Breland, and Rashad Fenton and Emmanuel Mosley are both kind of the same thing. Young corners that broke out and are playing well. Fenton in the slot and Mosley kind of both slot and outside. I just like the combo and the types of corners that Kansas City has. And plus, again, you also got Honey Badger who can play slot corner too if needed. So I think that end of it, I'm taking Kansas City as a core, even though Sherman's the best player of either side.
Okay. I see. I think Mosley, Witherspoon, and who am I forgetting about? I think those four guys. Kawon Williams, thank you. I think those four guys are going to be deeper than if you're including the Honey Badger. Then fine. I think safeties is a wash, personally, because I think the combination of Tart and Ward outweighs the Honey Badger.
I disagree for one reason, and I normally don't like this guy. Daniel Sorensen played really well against Tennessee.
I like Sorensen.
He's another box safety type that I think can make a difference against what the Niners likes to do. And I think that ends up making a difference. Now, obviously, if Juan Thornhill was healthy, he would be the starter as a strong safety or as a free safety with Honey Badger as a strong. And I think he's better than Jimmy Ward is. I'm not saying Jimmy Ward is better than Sorensen or worse than Sorensen as a whole, but in terms of this particular matchup for what Sorensen is, I think he's valuable.
I like Sorensen. I just think Sorensen would be fourth. Honey Badger's 1, and the two Niners are 2 and 3. So that's why I said it's a wash.
Okay. You like Jimmy Ward, I guess, more than you do.
I like Ward. I do. Even if it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So even then, it's a wash.
Okay.
But that's fun. So I'll say a wash for safeties. Kicking, I think, is also a wash.
I'm going to take Kansas City just because Robbie Gould at this point in his career not as good of a distance kicker.
He can still kick it though for one big kick.
Accurately, and in terms of kicking with the game on the line, yes. In terms of kicking a 50-plus yard field goal, I don't know. He's not as accurate as he used to be. This point in his career. Plus, he had all those injuries during the season too. It doesn't help.
And I also think special teams is a wash.
I think special teams is Kansas City, but it is close because the Niners do have good returners too. And they're young.
I think Richard James could be an X factor in this game too.
And the Niners have multiple guys that could do it too. I just like Dustin Colquitt as a better punter.
Not by a lot, but you're right.
Yeah, I would say that's probably significant enough. And the Chiefs also have a lot of guys that can return kicks too. So both teams, I think, are very similar where they have multiple guys that can return kicks. And I think the Niners as a special teams unit have performed better so far in the postseason, so that'll help make it closer too. And I do think it'll be a big role in this game too. I think you're going to see some. I don't know if you're going to see a return touchdown, but I think you're going to see some big returns to get short fields too.
And then coaching.
Ooh, that is tricky.
I think what Shanahan did this year was genius. I'll take it without saying. And Salas should be a head coach himself.
He should. It's interesting.
But I love Spagnuolo.
Yeah, if Spagnuolo didn't do what he did to the Titans, I probably would agree with you, but I think that really does make a difference. The Chiefs, who their talent tells me they can't stop the run, holding that beast of a running back in Derrick Henry to 69 yards has to say something. I really think it does. I'm going to call it a wash, but part of me really wants to say it's the Chiefs too, just because of that. They're so, for what I thought they weren't concept-based for against the Titans, because remember, I picked the Titans last week. I didn't know if they could do it. They proved a lot in that game.
Here we go. Pick time. Speedy Petey.
All right. This is going to be a very close game. I think it's kind of middle scoring. I think you're going to see some unexpected things. I don't think you're going to see Raheem Mostert continue to be the hot hand again. I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be efficient, but I don't think he'll be amazing because, again, like I said, Spagnuolo's going to have taken out Derrick Henry. The way he took out Derrick Henry, I think he'd do the same thing with Mostert. Not as skilled of a runner. I think everyone's hyping up this up as the tight end bowl. I don't think you're going to see either tight end play bad or great. I think you're going to see it's in between. But I just think Patrick Mahomes' ability to move to the left and right like he did against Tennessee is something that could really make a big difference. That's tough to do on a big stage for a young quarterback, the way he did it. And that shows he can make throws in different spots on the field. His receivers can do different spots on the field. And the way they move those guys around, I think, really will make a difference against that secondary depth for the Niners. And that's the one thing I think that really concerns me. The other thing that concerns me is the Niners' red zone offense has been a little iffy, plus they have a lot of smaller players. And the Chiefs have guys like Ragland and Honey Badger that can help rack it on Kittle. And Tevin Coleman, I think, being hurt or being limited, I think will hurt them too, because I don't think Mostert's the pass-catching back. I don't think Breida's same kind of thing. I don't really think they're pass-catching backs. Juszczyk could be used in that kind of role too. That's why I agree with you. I think he'll have a big game. I just don't know if they have it after that. And I think the Chiefs, there's a reason their points defense wasn't far behind the Niners. They're very bend, don't break. And I think you're going to see that. They're going to make key stops, and I think you're going to hold them to field goals. And I think the Chiefs are just going to get enough big plays and enough creativity in the red zone for them to be able to come through. Because I think that, one, their offensive line did a very good job against the Titans, and that proved a lot. Two, I think Mahomes, with his ability to throw around in different spots in the field, on his left, set his feet, that makes a big difference. And like I said before, Sammy Watkins is the one guy that I don't think the Niners, unless they put linebackers on him too, but I don't think they'll be able to. He's the one guy that I think makes a big difference in this game. I think he has the best game of any wide receiver. I could see him having 125 yards and a touchdown or something like that. He was big against the Titans, and the Niners' defense is very similarly built to the Titans in terms of the way their linebackers are, the way their safeties are. They're very similarly built. Now, the Titans' back-end guys are better, I think. the Niners have a better pass rush, the Titans have a better secondary, but in terms of the way they're structured, I think that'll make a difference. And Watkins had a big game in that one. And I think Steve Spagnuolo, the creativity of what he did, just proved a lot. If the Chiefs won the way they always won all postseason and all season, and they just won a shootout like 38-31, Derrick Henry went off, and the Chiefs just won with Mahomes, I would say the Niners win this game. But they proved they're a little more complete than I realized in that game. Whereas the Niners, I don't know if they really proved that yet. Can I trust their receivers to make downfield routes if they need to? Can I trust those other running backs to carry the load if Mostert gets stopped? Because I don't know with Breida's injury, with Coleman's injury, just coming at this time, I don't know if that can happen. So it'll be a great coaching game. All these coaches are phenomenal. A lot of motion. I think I agree with you. A lot of good fullback play from Juszczyk, and I think from Sherman too. I think he'll have a big role in terms of blocking. But I think the red zone offense will just make a difference. And the last thing I think too, I look at when I look at championships, I look at two things. The Chiefs are too hot, so that's a little scary. But the Niners really haven't looked well rounded. They've kind of won the same way. Pass rush, run game. Can they win a different way is the one thing that scares me. And that's why I'm ultimately going to end up taking the Chiefs. And the second thing, too, the Chiefs, the way they start, the way their postseason story is, it looks like a lot of past champions in other sports, too. They're down 24-0. All of a sudden, they go on this hectic run. Baseball, look at the Nationals. They had the Brewers had the big first inning.
That was nuts.
3-run homer. Nationals came back on the best reliever in baseball. Down 2-1 of the Dodgers. They lose 3 in a row.
Who's the best reliever in baseball?
Hader.
Oh.
Hader. They down 2-1 of the Dodgers.
Oh, you were fine, yeah.
Down 3-0 in that game 5. So you look at the way they won. My second least favorite basketball team in Virginia. They were down to a 16 seed again at halftime. All the weird ways they came back. The Cubs, look at what they did. The Eagles, they're all the same kind of thing. And the Chiefs, the way they're winning, it seems like that kind of thing is happening. So it just looks like other championship teams to me. So ultimately, I am going to take the Chiefs. I think it will be a close game. And I've been kind of hinting at this earlier. I was picking an unconventional Super Bowl MVP. I think that's Sammy Watkins. I think he's going to be a big guy in this game. I think Mahomes plays well. He could win it. I don't think he'll play great enough to win the MVP. I think Watkins will end up getting the MVP. I think Mahomes will have something like maybe 260, 270 yards and 2 touchdowns or something like that. I'm going to take the Chiefs to win this game. Win Super Bowl 54, 27-23.
So, before I get into that, I've just been told by Errol Marks to go look at our Facebook page? Go look at our homepage on our website. All right.
I'll take a look at that. You make your pick.
All right. There we go. Here we go. That is very classy, Errol Marks. That is, that's, damn. Not bad for the 18th greatest player of all time, huh? Sorry. Still hurts.
I'm still trying to find what he was looking at.
Kobe Bryant is now on the homepage. Unless it wasn't there before. Unless it was there before.
Now we're fresh, so let's see.
Very classy. Very, very nice. Everyone should go check out our tribute to Kobe. I think it's...
No, I still don't see it. That's weird. All right, you'll have to show me later.
I obviously haven't watched it, so we'll watch it together. But maybe it's on here. So yeah, well, what else can you say, right? Speed said everything. I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm just kidding. That's not how this is going to go whatsoever. So when I look at the Super Bowl, I always think that there's just this notion of, you say too hot, but consistency is what I'm looking at. In every single week this year, San Francisco consistently has established the run, has won every fight in the trenches, had the defense play phenomenal, and Jimmy Garoppolo has won the football game for them. Kansas City, 1 week they start down 24-0. They'll play cold. They lose to the Colts. They lose to the Packers. They lose to the Texans. They lose to the Titans.
They hung tough with the Packers considering they had no Mahomes.
Well, sure. Well, if they would have had Mahomes, Vandy Reed didn't call a quarterback sneak on the
I know.
well, useless call, but anyway, neither here nor there. Just looking at all the X's and O's and looking at the coaching and everything like that, and just seeing what we've seen in past Super Bowls, the star quarterback doesn't always win, right? So that's something that the Mahomes effect doesn't really bother me too much. I'm not really high on Andy Reid. He's a great Hall of Fame coach, yes, but again, not something that I would entirely think of when I think of knowing how to play a football game. But you know, there's going to be a notion here of just how to go about doing this, and I have to be honest with you. I think, and this is something that I said during the draft, you have to draft in a way that's sustainable for the future. Nick Bosa is what the NFL will always need. Pass rusher, athletic, quick to the outside, doesn't die on a play, doesn't quit on a play. Every snap, the guy is at or around the quarterback. Was Kyler Murray really that big of a hit? No. I'm just saying, like, San Francisco has an identity. Kansas City does not have an identity. They are a good football team that has an amazing quarterback with speed. There's just too much history here. Kansas City has the second longest drought in the NFL right now. Jets. You know, they haven't won one in, 50 years? 51 years? Niners win. They tie Tom Brady and the Steelers for 6 Super Bowls. Yes, I said Tom Brady. Patriots. I have to be honest with you. I at the first half, I think this game will be close. I think Kansas City's defense will have the coaching to keep this game close. Second half, I think this game will be pulled away. I think Jimmy Garoppolo will finally kind of, you know, have that game where people go, oh, shucks. Yeah, okay. That's why they paid him $200 million after 7 starts. Okay. There's really no talent level here needed. I just think when you look at the matchups, San Francisco's defense, yes, Sammy Watkins has speed. They all their receivers can run a 4.4. I get it. And Tyreek Hill's the fastest player in football. Pat Mahomes is not going to have time to make those plays. He's just not. And I don't care. The greats all face it. Big Ben, Tom Brady. When you get in their face, they're not the same quarterback. San Francisco's punched everyone in the face this year, and San Francisco has won 15 out of 18 tries. Kansas City's no slouch. Kansas City had a great year. And when we come back on Tuesday, we're going to rebuild not rebuild, but we're going to go through every team on how they can go from chump to Super Bowl champ or Super Bowl runner-up to Super Bowl champ or repeat Super Bowl champ. We're going to touch it all on Tuesday. But right now, I have to look at this team and objectively say that this team will win the Super Bowl. To me, I could be wrong, but I don't think this game will be close when the score is over. And as far as watching the game, I even think that will be a little bit of they just never really had it. And again, Kansas City's been talking a lot the past 2 weeks. They've been talking a lot.
They backed it up against the Titans.
They did back it up. But there's a mentality in San Francisco that starts from the top. And this is what I've been telling everybody. If you want a winning organization or winning business, this is how you do it. Your owner selects somebody to run the team, John Lynch, that identifies as an identity. I know I repeated myself, but that's fine. John Lynch established an identity. John Lynch brings in a coach to further that identity. Kyle Shanahan has brought in assistants to further identify that identity. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have drafted guys to help that identity. What is Kansas City's identity, I ask you? They're a good team with a star quarterback, right? And speed. Speed's probably the thing. That's fine. Speed doesn't matter if you're getting knocked around all day long, which Pat Mahomes will absolutely be. And again, they have a good pass rush on the other side, so Jimmy G might very well have no time either, but the running game will be good enough to get it done. They got 4 running backs. 5 if you count Juszczyk. That can go out there and take the ball 5 yards on each snap.
Juszczyk's best running back on the team. What do you say?
Well, no, I know that, but he's not really running that much.
I know.
But
Still the best running back on the team.
I'll say this right now: I'm picking San Francisco, and I hate to say it's going to be a bad Super Bowl because it won't be. But this, to me, could be the Raven-Niners Super Bowl where it's a blowout, something crazy happens, and Chiefs put up a couple points. But other than that,
tale of 2 halves.
right? I don't think it'll be close and like, oh God, here they come. You're not going down to San Francisco and blowing a 24-point lead. I don't think so. So I'll take San Francisco 49ers 34, Kansas City 24. But I'm telling you now, at halftime, don't be surprised if it's like 17-0. I don't think this game will be that close. But hey, there's only one way to find out, right? There's only one way to find out. Right now,
Kyle Juszczyk for MVP.
I think so. I think this could be the first Super Bowl in history. The Super Bowl MVP doesn't have a stat. I think he's going to be that dynamic running the football for them.
Wow.
Leading blocks. Could be a stat line of like 3 carries for 40 yards.
I'm rooting for that because I've always liked it. If the Niners win, I do hope he does win Super Bowl MVP.
Oh, I think
he's definitely my favorite player on that team.
Oh, he's amazing. His stiff arm's the play of the year. It looks like he friggin' karate chopped somebody on the floor. Sick. But I hope everybody enjoys this weekend. The Super Bowl is going to be huge. And more importantly, on a more serious note, everybody tune into this Laker game. That is the message I send. Even if you're sick of honoring, and I don't mean to sound, I know, it's a sports show, but this is honestly the last part. Okay, we've all had the tributes. We've all had the. This is where you start. Right, this is where you start the moving on. Not moving on, but the okay. We've now said our goodbyes. That's what this is right now. The Laker game will probably start a half hour late. I can imagine. And halftime is probably going to be a pain to get through, too. I can imagine that being very emotional. But I'm going to tell you right now. LeBron James, I'm sorry that I was mad at you for so long, and I hope you win a championship this season. Because he got a tattoo that says Mamba Forever. Snake 824. And I've heard all the conspiracy theories that LeBron killed Kobe. Like, get over it. Just stop it. Now, just stop it. He sounds deranged if you think that. But this is how we're going to say goodbye to the Mamba. And if you're any Mamba fan, you should be watching this game right now. I won't be because I'll be driving Speedy home, but it is what it is. But we start moving on. We're going to watch this tribute, too, that Earl Marks has made for us. So I swear to God, if it says anything about 18th player all the time, I'll break the computer. But everyone be safe tonight. Be safe for Super Bowl weekend.
What are you doing for your Super Bowl party? Or anything like that?
My GM invited a couple of guys from work, right? So what we're doing, he bought an 85-inch TV.
Okay.
That's all I needed to hear. That's all I needed to hear. I heard 85-inch TV and bought. I mean,
Yeah, that's good enough.
yeah. What else do you need? I said, babe, I heard 85-inch TV and I want to go. Okay, whatever. I'm having one Jack and Coke. I'm sitting there. I'm watching the game, and that's that. Between the commercials and halftime, I might even be able to have 2. You gotta figure it's gonna be like an hour-long halftime show.
You're going to do a whole drinking game or something?
No. I do have to drive. But in all seriousness, I hope everyone is safe over the weekend. Where are you doing?
I'm going to my house. We always have a great layout every year with appetizers, beer.
Oh, this guy's gonna spare no expense.
My mother makes chili all the time. It's always really good.
You're going to Connecticut?
Yeah.
They're not here now, are they?
No.
Oh, thank God.
No, I'm going there tomorrow.
Oh, thank God. I was
But
gonna say.
yeah. So we always have a great layout. I don't know if my brothers are coming. I doubt they will be because they're in college. There's always probably some big parties going on there.
Oh,
so.
yeah. And plus, you don't have to drive. You can just lay out on the front
Right.
lawn, yeah.
Right. So yeah, we'll see who's there. But we always have a great layout every year. Usually with appetizers, chili, just everything. The only year I wasn't there was 2 years ago, just there was some miscommunication. But I've been there all the time, and we buy literally every appetizer you can imagine.
But, yeah, so we are going to get going here. Just seeing if this is a Snugs alert. Yep, here we go. Will there be any discussion of the appropriate snacks for the Super Bowl party? Obviously, Bojangles will bring wings, but what other goodness?
Bojangles.
Will
That would be
served?
funny.
Hashtag
Snugs, we don't
Miller's
have
House.
Bojangles here.
Hashtag put it on the Marks tab.
Put on the Marks tab. Yeah, he's in the
You know
South.
what? He does
Yeah.
have a tab there, I
Yeah.
think.
No, Errol's probably around where there's Bojangles. That's where it would be.
Probably. Yeah, I can see Errol. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, shit. I did that for you, my man. Oh. Errol did something for me. I have to watch it. It's going to be a tribute. Right at the end, Errol Marks goes, Kobe 18th old. Watch. Oh, we'll watch. We'll watch. I might cry. I might. I have to write that stinking article. Crap.
Oh, you're not going to do it on how Kyle Juszczyk's going to win Super Bowl MVP?
Here's where I screwed up, right? I should have wrote the Kobe article sooner, but I couldn't. And now I have to kind of write two. I'm just going to write one. I don't know. We have a meeting Thursday. I'm sure I'll get yelled at for it. That's fun. Anyway, Speedy, it's Super Bowl time.
Oh, yeah.
Tell them where they can find us.
Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Periscope, Snapchat, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, on our website at worldwidesportsradio.com. And we are one of only
16
sports radio networks and podcasts on radio.com. 16, very fitting. Obviously, the number of Joe Montana. Joe Montana, his former team's playing in the Super Bowl.
Do you wear 16 in Kansas City, too?
I believe so.
Interesting. Huh. All right, Speedy. So tell your Chiefs fans goodbye.
Thanks for listening. Enjoy whatever Super Bowl parties you may be going to.
Responsibly.
Responsibly, yes. Enjoy the game. I think it will be a very good game. Have a great weekend. Have a great Super Bowl. And have a glorious night.
Oh, shucks. Mr. Bojangles, you shocked me again. I think Bojangles could be your new nickname. I think they're going to stop calling you Speedy.
That's fine.
Yeah, you've had Speedy for like 3 years. It's time to graduate on to something else.
Yeah. Bojangles it is.
Bojangles. I swear, I don't know where I come up with this stuff.
Snugs, next time you send me a shirt, you can send me some Bojangles.
Oh, shh. He'll send you more than Bojangles, if you know what I mean.
Oh, jeez.
You're gonna get a live chicken running around in here. Caw, 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 and then you're gonna have Errol Marks saying, "Don't touch anything! Don't touch anything! Get the stupid chicken!" Oh God. I think Harrigan's gonna go, "I don't think it's that bad of a thing. I want to keep him as a pet." Anyway, in all seriousness, I hope everyone has a glorious. Oh, Jesus God! I hope everyone has a good weekend. In all seriousness, be responsible this weekend, okay? If you've learned anything from this past weekend, don't cherish what time you have, because it's not guaranteed tomorrow. Don't risk it. Don't do nothing. And just be very responsible. That's all I can ask for. Again, tune into the Laker game. It should be, I would imagine it's on now.
think it starts at 10:30. There might be some pregame.
Well, no, the game's
ceremonies.
on now, but I
Yeah.
think the pre-ceremony's on now.
Oh, okay.
I think ESPN's doing it, or TNT might even be doing it.
No,
I
it's
don't know.
ESPN.
No, the game's ESPN, but TNT might be hosting it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. But I hope everyone has a good weekend. Go Niners, because I love being right. And that would give me a 7-4 postseason record after starting 1-3. Nah, that's impressive.
Wait a minute, there's an odd number. Oh, yeah, if there would be, yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
So I'll either be 6-4
I
or
would be
7-3.
6-5 if the Chiefs win, 5-6 if the Niners win.
Wait, no, I'll be 6-5 or 7-4. I can't be 6-5.
Yeah.
6-5 ain't good.
Oh, wait a minute. No, 6-5, sorry.
No, if I lose, I'll be 6-5.
Oh, okay.
6-5 is not good. I don't want to be 6-5.
So you're currently 6-4.
Mike Guido is 5-5. I don't want to be 6-5.
Yeah, I'm 5-5 too. I don't know about how consistent he is. I'm 500 every round so far.
I bet you he went 0-4 and 4-0 one week.
Maybe
Yeah, I bet money on it, and then went 1-1.
could be.
Listen, he's constantly wrong, so it's fine. But I'm just kidding. I actually saw him not too long ago. Yeah, we're out of here. Have a great weekend. We'll be back Tuesday. I hope to God coming in on Tuesday this week is better than coming in on Tuesday this week. That was brutal. Again, Gigi and Kobe, this is for you, right? And I'm really excited to watch this tribute. I really am. So thank you, Aaron Marks. Thank you, Snugs, for the input. And guess what else we're celebrating on Tuesday?
February 4th.
3 years. 2 years.
2 years.
How long have I freaking been here?
2 years.
I've been here 3 years. It'll be a 2-year anniversary. Right. Mm-hmm. So we'll see who calls in for the lovely event.
Throwback show.
Yeah, throwback show. Me punching Mike Guido in the face. I'm just kidding. But, again, everyone have a good weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Be responsible. It's J-Lo. Whatever. They better have a Kobe celebration there. They better. They better do something.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be long. Doesn't have to be thought out. Just do something.
They'll do something.
And Vanessa Bryant should throw the opening coin toss. Oh, she might not want to be seen right now. That's understood.
Right.
Yeah, I got nothing smart to say. I just hope that we see a good Super Bowl. So we will see you on Tuesday. See ya. Mamba out.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.